Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining. This is day one of Oracle integrations training, and in this session we are going to cover basics of Oracle integrations. I will give you the basic overview of that Oracle integration instance, and that yes, will give you the brief on that Oracle ERP instance also, and then we'll see that basic components of Oracle integrations, and we'll move ahead. So just for brief initial few days, like around to 2 to 3 days, we will be more focus on theoretical part where I will cover all the topics and the points which is there in OIC, and day by day we'll move to the practical part, and in upcoming days, after 2 to 3 days, we will have our session will be completely based on practical only. So where it will be very less theoretical, where I will show you the PPTs and all, but yes, it will be completely practicals only. So let's go ahead with that. So first we'll see that that basic introductions to OIC, where we'll see that a few of the examples that where in real life example we can see role of OIC and where we can implement our Oracle integrations. So just for brief introductions, if you will see that OIC is a middleware applications which helps like to interact with two different systems. So when we are talking about two different systems, so in case of OIC, even Oracle ERP applications, that it can be the cloud applications, that is Oracle Fusion, or it can be the non-cloud applications, that EBS, or any other applications. It can be file server, or it can be database, or any other system you can consider, that's Workday, Salesforce, CPQ, that all systems consider as a third party system in term of Oracle integrations, because we know that Oracle integrations is a middleware application which helps one systems to interact with another system. And when we are saying that interact with other system, it simply means that sharing the data. So either using OIC, we can extract data from any systems and consume the data, and based on the data, we can play with that data. So whatever is our business requirement, we can utilize that data accordingly. For example, we have a third party database from where we have to pick the records, that data, and the data we have to transform to any other system. That's, for example, we have Oracle ERP applications, that Oracle Fusion. So OIC will help us to extract the data from the third party database system, and then based on the data, it will manipulate the data in a such way that whatever required format required for that pushing the data to Oracle ERP, OIC will help us to design that data in a such a way, and then it will push the data to Oracle Fusion. And obvious that Oracle Fusion is also a third party applications in case of Oracle integrations at OIC. So that third party system having different facilities to push the data. So either it can be using REST API, it can be SOAP, or obvious in case of Oracle ERP, we have FVDI terminology. So we can apply the concept of FVDI also in our integration. So that's we are going to cover all this during our session. So in a screen you can see that earlier we had different version of OIC. So initially it was OIC version 1. So version 1 was like very poor to see in look and feel. But now you can see we have our latest version, that's generation 3. Latest version is called generation 3. And obviously we have that multiple upgrades. So latest upgrade is 25. That 25 denotes the year 2025. So this is the theme, that whatever you are going to see for that theme you are going to see for this Oracle integration instance, that's theme consider as a Redwood theme. So same like Oracle have implemented the Redwood theme for Oracle ERP applications also. So we can see in our upcoming sessions. So if you will see, this is Oracle integration generation 2 instance. So generation 2 instance look like this way only. That's the old version of Oracle integrations. Obvious in term of features, and in terms of facilities, we have few of the things added in generation 3. We will cover that too in our upcoming days also, but just for brief, this is the look and feel of that Oracle integrations. So if you want to see me, so let me go through that front end where I can show you that OIC generation 3 instance. So if you will see, this is our home screen of the integration. So whenever you will log into that Oracle integrations instance, this is a that Oracle integrations instance. And when we are saying that instance, simply you can consider as application. So this is Oracle integrations application, and this application as SaaS applications, and that PaaS applications which is available over the cloud. So we can access these applications directly using URL providing in the browser. So it's no need to install it in anywhere, just like we have EBS. So EBS need to be deployed to any data server, but in case of OIC, or in case of Oracle Fusion application, it's not need to deploy anywhere. It's already deployed in the Oracle Cloud, and using that subscription based, using that URL, we can access that application anywhere sitting in that in the world. So obvious, sometimes it can be that security restrictions, that few of the reason or few of the system you won't be able to access that one just because they added the securities. So you required VPN in your system, or your system need to be in a specific network to access that application. So that's the network security they provided for this, either it for Oracle Fusion applications or for the Oracle integrations instance. So once you will log into that Oracle Fusion applications, once you will log into that Oracle Fusion applications, in that the taskbar, you will be able to see lots of options there. So in generation 2, if you will see that project concept were not there in generation 2, and that's healthcare were not there in generation 2, that's lots of different things are there. But yeah, in generation 3 they added lots of features, and specifically when we are talking about OIC, that we are talking about integrations applications. So in this complete session we will talk about integrations only. So generally, if you will talk about OIC, that Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is a combination of three different services. That all these three different services is OIC, the first one. Another one is that VBCS. Then we have PCS. So our sessions is specifically for OIC. That's Oracle integrations. So to access that Oracle integrations applications on that the design you done, you have to navigate to the design, and in the design you will be able to see that components of OIC. So this, the very first integration, is the applications which we are going to design to perform our actions to connect with any system and all, and the remaining are the components of that OIC. So connections, lookup, all these things we will go through that, and we will learn one by one. So just for brief, if you'll see in the integrations, we have options to see all the already created integrations, and if not that, yes, we can create integrations by coming to this in this page only. So let me go to that PPT again. So yeah, so as I already told you that when we are talking about OIC, we are considering that OIC is a middleware application which can interact with any third party system. And obvious how OIC will interact with that third party system. That's why we have that connections and adapter facilities available in OIC. And what is this connections and adapter? We will learn in our upcoming sessions. So just for example and diagram, you can see that this is our OIC middleware applications. That OIC middleware applications can interact with any third-party system. That can be EBS system, that can be Salesforce app, file server, or any database server, and vice versa. That we can send the data to the system, or either we can get the data from the system. And once data is available in OIC, then after whatever we want, we can do with this data. So for example, that whatever data we receive from EBS system, the data we have to send over the email. So that's why OIC provide an flexibility to use notifications action. We'll cover that one also in upcoming days. But using that notifications, we can send an email to that specific user, where and in that email body we can pass the messages, we can pass the attachment and all. And also, if for example we receive the data from an that's Salesforce system, and that is specific data we want to push to that Oracle ERP application. So that's why like Oracle ERP applications having different way to insert the data into that applications. So either it can be REST API, SOAP web services, or it can be that FVDI approach also. So that all this can be implemented in OIC itself, and using that way the data will be pushed to that ERP applications. So that's the way OIC works. So if you will talk about that basic example of this one, so for example, you can consider as a department, that department which is having storing the student information, student related information. Either it can be that admission details, that student exam details, that who have the payment of that student, and which semester or which domain the students are. For example, that in any education institute having all these kind of informations, and that informations that admission department is having in the system. For example, they are maintaining that Excel based software and all, and that data they want to transmit to any they third parties database. For example, they are using any BTP database, and in the database they want to hit the data student related information, so that their other application, for example they are using Salesforce, they are using any other system, that system can get the data from that specific database. So what OIC will do here, so in case that OIC needs some data, right, that is specific data where it is. So admission, that education's department, that education department will hold the data, store the data into any files, and that file they will place to any file server, and then OIC roles come here. So once file will be placed to that file server, OIC will pick the file from that specific file server. OIC will read the content of the file, and whatever records or whatever data is there in the file, OIC will insert the data into that database table. So whatever B2B database they are following, either it can be Oracle database, it can be MySQL, or anything, whatever database they are using. So that kind of example we can see. Another example, if you want, so another example can be, for example, we have the supplier, and that supplier is sharing that invoices to their to whom they sell the goods. So when they are selling the invoices, so they will not directly enter the invoice in their ERP application system, right? So they will place the file, they will place the invoice related data in a file, and that file will be placed to file server. Then then manually, for example, OIC is not there in the picture. So that system, the organization who implemented their or ERP applications, and they want to create invoices for that specific supplier in their ERP application. So what they will do, they will extract that CSV file either from file server or from email, or whatever way they are sharing, and they will read the data of that file, and one by one they will enter the data into their system, that Oracle ERP applications. So it's really, it can be difficult task, right? So that's why OIC comes in the picture. So what OIC will tell that the supplier, that no need to share that file to anywhere, just place that file to a specific file server. OIC will read the data from that specific file server, and after reading the data from file server, OIC will read the content of that file data. They will do the validations, whatever validation business want to implement. For example, we have supplier, for supplier, whatever they place the file or invoices related to related file to file server, that can have the different notations. So they can have different notations related to giving the items number or the product number or giving that supplier name. But in Oracle ERP applications, we are using another supplier name and code. So OIC will perform that data validations and transformation of data, and then after OIC will push the data into ERP. So that kind of things OIC can take care, and we will do that one too. So that's all comes under that inbound integration. So when we are saying that inbound integration, so in term of Oracle ERP we are talking about, then it means that we are trying to push the data to ERP, Oracle ERP. It means that OIC will get data from somewhere else, and the data will be pushed to Oracle integrations. So in the term we will say that it's inbound integrations. And integrations means that integration applications we created. So obvious similar we will have that outbound integrations also. That outbound integration simply means that data is there in the system, and in the system means we are generally focusing on Oracle ERP applications. So data is there in Oracle ERP system, and the data we want to push to send to outside that ERP to somewhere else. Then that integrations applications we create, that integration application will be considered as a outbound integration. So let's see that few of the basic example I created here. So if you will see here, our integration, this integrations is responsible for like you can see, getting the data from file server and loading the data, getting the data from file server, and then sending the data to in database table. For just considering the example of the scenarios first. So just allow me 1 minute. Okay, so sorry. So here what we have done, we created one integrations. That integration is going to get the data from file server. After getting the data from file server, they are going to insert the data into database table. So that the simple integrations which we have, and that integrations we are going to create in our upcoming sessions. So for that, this integrations applications, what we required the very first requirement is to have the file at file server. So if you will see that we have that file available at file server, storing that student informations. Name of the file, you can see student sample file.csv. That file contain student related informations. If you will see the data of that file, roll number, name, class, admission, or whatever other things can be related to that specific student. So we have, in this case, we have 3 records in that CSV file placed to the file server, and all these 3 records we have to push to the database. because if you will see the example here, so our source system is that admission department's file server, and target system is our database. So from that file server we have to push data to database via OIC. That OIC is going to take care of the task. So how OIC will do that task? So for performing that task, the very first OIC will pick the file from file server. It will use that file in OIC. It will read the content of the data, content of the file, and then after it will push the data to database. So B2B database, it can be any other database, or in case of like other system, it can be APIs or anything. And after that, we have flexibilities to archive the file. So when we are saying that archive the file, it means that just removing the file from source system and putting the file to any other system, any other directory. So and also once it will be completed, OSC can also send the notifications to users so that they can understand that whatever data file they place, that file consumed to the third party system or into their database, and that's the status of that file. So similar way, if you will see this, this is the integrations application, and this integration application is going to take care of the task. So file is there at file server. This is the content of the file, and right now B2B database which we are taking a example is empty as of now. So once we will run the integration, so this is the integration page where we are going to run the integrations. uh, no need to just worry about that. So as just for example I taken, I will show you that how to run that integration applications, where to start everything when we will move for the practical part. So when this is for example, this is the integrations name we given FOAS int001 in student details. So just for like naming purpose, so whenever we are giving name to any of the object, we are following the naming conventions, and naming conventions can be based on project. So when we are saying that based on project, so it can be that project saying that, so whatever object you will create, for example here we created OIC integrations object. So they say that starting of that integrations name will be FOAS. FOAS, as of now, this FOAS is for Fox Oracle App Solutions. It can be your project name. For example, whatever client related project you are working, it can be related to that short name for that. And this INT001 is the integrations code. So in your org there can be lots of integrations, and for each and all integrations, remembering by name it's a bit difficult task. That's why we are giving a sequence, or we are giving a code to that integrations, that also known as a rice ID and all. So it can be INT001. Then this IN is for inbound, that we are going to get data from somewhere else in OIC and pushing data into our system. That's in this case it is database. And this is the integrations name, so that's student details related integrations. So that kind of things, naming conventions we will follow while we will design our integrations. And this is where the page where we are running the integration. So once you will click on this run button, it will just show the log activity stream where you can track that the activities of your integration application. So once integrations got completed, so whatever data we had in the file, the data will be loaded into table. So you can see this table earlier it was empty, and data we have 3 records. And once we run the integrations, after running the integration, same data inserted into this database table. And after inserting the data into database table, we done the logic in integration in a such way that whatever file we had at file server, that file will be processed to processed folder. That we said that we added the logic of archiving the file, so that all that operations OIC will take care, and we will learn in OIC that how we can do all these things from OIC only. So this we are going to cover in our session. And obvious one of the features that OIC can send an email notifications. So that email notifications, so whatever you want to add, the subject, body, and that messages and all, you can even add the attachment to that email notifications also. But obvious, each and every object having their own limitations. So once you will add the attachment, so attachments having the size limitations, so that's while adding the attachment to notifications, we have to take care of that one too. So that kind of things we can do. We can take care of our integrations. So another example of it can be that any of the companies is just purchasing the good from suppliers. The same way I given you the example of AP invoices. That's one supplier send the goods, they want to send that invoices to that organization. And how they will send the invoices to that organization, it can be any way. So it can be at file server, it can be said that we have supplier can say that we have our database, we will get that insert the records or insert the invoice details to our database. you as a ERP applications, or you as a organizations, you have to pick the data from our database, and you have to whatever you want to do with that. So that also we can OIC can take care. So OIC can take care from getting data from file server, or OIC can get the data from database and all. And obvious, when we are working and we are designing the integrations, so we can do lots of error handling, we can do lots of validations part. So error handling and validations, all these things can be like, so just for basic error handling or the validations can be, for example, we are getting invoice data from suppliers, and obvious supplier, the whatever data they pass, the data should have the supplier details, right? Supplier name, supplier site, and the invoice amount and all. So we cannot blindly get the data from their file server or their database and load the data into ERP. Before loading the data into our ERP, we have to do basic validations, that a supplier name should not be null or amount should not be in zero, something like that. So that kind of things, validations and all, we can do in OIC itself. So that's we can cover in our integrations. S- So as initially I discussed that when we are talking about OICs, that Oracle Cloud offers three different services for OIC. That's the very first service is considered as a Oracle Integrations Cloud. Sometimes they say that ICS also, and this is the that services which we are going to work on. That OIC is, that is middleware applications. Then we have Process Cloud services and Visual Builder services. So this the third one, Visual Builder is services, is something that you can consider as a new page designing. So new page designing, it means that we have that Oracle ERP applications, and ERP applications. It's not that all these business validations, all the business requirement can be achieved using this ERP applications and the ERP task page and all. Sometimes business needs some additional pages that out of box solutions that they can implement according to their need. So here in Oracle ERP, we cannot directly have the options to create the page. That's why VBCS comes in the picture. Now these days we have Redwood and Visual Builder Studio, that where we can just change the design of integrations. We can update the field directly to this VBS page also. That's different part, that Redwood and all. So in upcoming days, if you want to go for that, you can go for Redwood or VBS Builder and all. And here we have PCS. So that's PCS, something that for example, this is our ERP applications. In ERP applications, whenever we are going to create any purchase order, we done the setup in this ERP applications to, whenever purchase order will be created, it will go for approval hierarchy. So that's why we have in Oracle ERP, we have BPM, where we can set the approvals hierarchy, we can set the approvals rules and all. But when we design the page using VVCS, we need that kind of things also. That's why PCS comes in the picture, and that PCS can take care of that approval hierarchy part, and the flow of that BPM. So whatever we have in OIC, that can be taken care of PCS. So this PCS, VVCS, Redwood, all these are completely different than OIC. So in this session, we are just going to discuss only on that OIC. So when we are talking about OIC, so like as I shown you that in OIC we have different components. That all components you can see here. We have components as integrations. We have components as connections. This integration is our main applications that we are going to design. And for designing any of the integrations, we required all these components. Not mandatory to all, but obvious few of the components we required to create our integrations applications. So the components are integrations, connections, lookups, library, and many more. So the very first, if we will talk about, that's the adapters. So adapters, we have agents, we have connections, lookups, library, packages, integrations, and obvious event they added newly. So when we talking about adapters, so this is our OIC applications. These OIC applications want to interact with other third-party system to get the data. But how this OIC will get to know that which third-party system we have to connect? That's why Oracle provided predefined adapters. The predefined adapters will define that and will help these integrations to identify which third-party system they want to connect. The third-party system can be database, it can be any ERP system, or it can be any SOAP services, REST services, and all. So here you can see we have this list of adapters, predefined adapters available in Oracle integrations, which we can utilize while designing our integrations. So few of that one, if you will see, we have the database. If you will see, so you can see we have Oracle database. we have Oracle Primavera Cloud Database. That Oracle Primavera is also one of the ERP application which is taking care of the projects related things. And if you will see, if we have Oracle Cloud Database, that's known as ATP. So Oracle ATP database. So all these are the adapters. So here we are not going to do anything. We are just going to utilize this adapter while creating the connections. So now we have that connection, right? So adapters, we get to know that adapter is the one which is going to tell that applications to which third party system we want to connect. But how we can connect to the third party system? When we are saying that, how, it means that is the third party system restricted by any VPN, restricted by any networks and all. That will be let me all, yeah. So that will be configured in that connection. So connection will define that which third party system we have to connect. That's why connection will select that adapters, and in the connection, only based on the adapters which third party system we are going to connect, we have to provide the credentials. Is that only we have to pass user ID password, or we have to pass user ID password and the network details related things to that connections also? That all things will be considered or will be configured in the connection only. So connection is going to tell us that how we are going to interact with the third party system. Which third party system we are going to interact will be defined by adapters, and in the connections we are going to use adapters, so that connects we can create connectivity with that adapters only, so that this connection we can utilize in our integration. For example, in our integrations we have to, let's say that example here. So this is example, right? This is our OIC. In the OIC we want to connect with this file server. So when we are saying that we have to connect with file server, it means that we need FTP connections. We need connections, which connections utilize that file server adapters, so that we can interact, or our OIC can interact with that file server. Similar way, OIC have to get the data from file server. Now they want to insert the data into database. So how OIC will connect with the database? So we know that for which system we have to connect. We know that we have to connect with database, but which database and how we have to connect with the database, that will be defined in that connections. So when we will create connection, while creating the connections, we will select the adapter, so that we will get to know that which third party system we are going to connect, and how we are going to connect that ID password. If it is auth 2.0, that's latest we are going to do that. For client ID, secret, scope, what all other details are there, that we are going to define in that connection only. Then if you will see, we have agent. So agent is simply, if you will see that agent is simple, that OIC is a cloud based applications, and all the cloud based application which is publicly available, we can directly interact with them just by creating the connections. If the third party system we are going to connect, the third party system is publicly exposed, we can directly create connections, select the adapters, and we will be able to make a connectivity between these two. But for example, what if our third party system is not publicly exposed? It's restricted by network. So when the third party system is restricted by network, we cannot directly interact, or we cannot directly create the connection with the third party system. That's why we require agent. So what we are going to do here, this agent will hold our OIC instance details, OIC configuration details, and this agent we have to install to their third party system. When this agent will be installed to this third party system, it will automatically create connections between their third party system in our OIC instance. Now we have to make a connectivity, then we will create the connections. So again, for connecting with the third party system, we will create connections, we'll select the adapters, and we know that that third party system is not publicly exposed. That's why we will add the agent in the connection, so that this agent, we know that we already installed this agent to the third party system, so that our connections will work fine, and we will be able to create a connectivity between these two systems. Then we have lookup. So lookup is simply that like is like all other applications, just like row and key values pair. For example, any third party system, we are getting country code as India for IN, or PK for Pakistan, and AU for Australia, something like that. But in our target system, it means that, for example, their admission department, they place the file to file server. In the file server, they provided the S2 and country as short code. And but in our target system, that is our that is B2B database, we want to put the full name of that country. So how this transformation will be performed? So that easy way can be that we can maintain this row and key values pair in lookups, and in the lookup we can store that value, so that we will pass that in to the lookup, and look in the lookup we can fetch that India. So that kind of things we are going to take care using working with lookups. Then we have libraries. Libraries is something that we have to write custom code. So in OIC we have already lots of thing to perform. So using OIC we can take care of lots of things, but there's sometimes we require additional logic to build. That additional logic we cannot directly implement in OIC. For that we want to write the code. That's why we have JavaScript library, we have libraries. So in the libraries we can create JavaScript function. The JavaScript functions can implement that solutions which we cannot generally directly implement in our OIC, or we can implement in OIC, but it's bit making OIC more complex. Then in case we will write a JavaScript code, and how that JavaScript code we will execute in OIC. That's why we will create libraries. In the libraries we will upload JavaScript code, and that JavaScript code we will utilize in our integrations. So that's why library they here we have in OIC. Then we have packages. So this package is nothing, just it's making use to combine all integration. For example, we created our applications having lots of integrations. Few of the integrations related to finance domain, few of the integrations related to supply chain domain, few of the integrations related to human capital. Yeah, and all integrations are there in our instance only, but we want to combine all these common integrations, all that specific branch related integrations together, so that whenever we want to move this complete integration from one instance to another instance, that's one environment to another environment, that's we are using packages. So that using that packages only we can identify these all are the common integrations, and that common integration we have to move further. So this then we have integration. That's the main point which we are going to create, that's integrations applications. And here we have event. So event is something that that integrations type only, but we can say that when we are creating event type integrations, it means that that we created integration in such a way that integration will automatically invoke whenever that specific event occur. For example, we created event based integrations where we selected file server, and we select operations create file. So whenever new file will be placed to a specific file server, our OIC integrations will automatically execute. So how we can achieve that one? That's why we have event-based integration. So event-based integration is simply that integrations we are not going to invoke, or we are not going to run on our need basis. That event-based integrations will be executed based on the logic whatever we added. So one of the example for event-based integrations can be that callback integrations. We will learn in our upcoming days that what is callback integrations and all. So callback integrations or event-based integrations you can consider. For example, we have our ERP applications, and we want that whenever new purchase order created in our ERP applications, our OIC integration should be invoked, should be executed. But that time we will create event-based integrations. So that's the all basic components of that components of integrations we talk about. So the same way we have that adapters. I already explained that adapter is something that is going to define that which third party system we are going to connect. For example, you can see that third party system can be any e-commerce system, it can be that our ERP applications, it can be our database, or it can be any other system, Salesforce, or it can be CPQ, MuleSoft, Oracle Primavera, any other applications that connects adapters is going to define. And then agent, we told that the third party system we are going to connect. If the third party system is not publicly exposed, we cannot directly create connections in OIC for that. So that's why we require agent. So what we will do, we will deploy that agent to the third party system, so that agent can work like a bridge between OIC to the third party system. So bridge is created, now we have to walk through that bridge. That's why we will create connection. So while creating the connection, we will utilize that bridge, that is we will utilize that agent, so that we can OIC can interact with the third party system even which is not publicly exposed. So that's the use of agent in our integrations. That connection, we told you that while creating the connection, we have to select the adapters. That adapter will define that which third party system we have to create, we have to connect, and how we have to connect, that connection will define. So while creating the connections, we have to provide the user ID, password, and whatever that credentials that system required to connect. So that we are going to define in connections. Then we have lookup. So I already explained you that lookup is something that based on a specific value we want to retrieve another value, just like key values pair. So that's Oracle having that flexibilities, that's known as OIC lookup. So we can utilize lookups in our integrations to extract these details. One of the common utilizations of lookup in OIC is we have integrations metadata. For example, we created a student related integrations, right, to get the data from file server and all, and we want to send the notifications. So if we will like send the notification, so we can directly provide the two email or four email in integration notification only. But later, for example, next 10 days, 15 days, we want to update the email notification list, we want to add few user, we have to go to the integrations, we have to update the integration, or we have to do the changes in integration. So instead of doing all these things, what we can do, we can create one lookup. In the lookup, we can provide the email details related to each and every integration, so that from the integrations name or any specific column considered as a key, we can extract the email directly in the lookup. So whatever value you will provide in lookup, it can be runtime extract by OIC. No need to activate integrations or deactivate integrations again and again. So that kind of flexibility we have with lookup. Then library we require to create our custom JavaScript code. So that custom JavaScript code we can utilize in our integrations. Few of the common example of this we have to add few additional filter, few additional validation. For example, we have a specific number consider as a PAN number or the Aadhaar number of a student, and we want to validate that Aadhaar number. So when we are saying that we have to validate Aadhaar number, for example, Aadhaar number having few set of code to validate, just like PAN card. So PAN card first five digits should be numeric, next digit should be alphanumeric, and then last character should be last character should be alphanumeric, something like that. We have to do the validations. We can do in OIC, but it will be make our OIC lengthy. So what we can do, we will create one JavaScript function. In the JavaScript function, we will pass one parameters as a PAN number, and in the JavaScript code, we will write the code to validate the JavaScript, and if it is validated, return true. If not valid, return false. That functions we can utilize in OIC again. So that's why we have to define the JavaScript function in OIC library. That packages, obviously we have to we can use packages to combine multiple integrations related to same domain, related to same logic or same need, so that a specific package we can deploy at a single time to any other instance, either other environment. And one integrations package can have multiple integrations, so that all integrations can be used in a single hit. So this is our obvious integrations. So now if you will see that we done with our basics of integrations, and that integrations having that new generations, right, while working on this integration, we will follow the generation 3. And in generation 3, they added lots of features recently in 2025 fourth quarter, they added lots of features. That lots of features, one of them can be that they added new components, they added connectivities. And when we are saying the new components, so if you will see, go back here, this is in the design, we have our integrations. So in generation 3 only, they added the projects. So this project is something that inside the project we can have all these components again. So something easy you can consider, that we are creating projects to just secure the integrations specific to different needed different modules we can create. So we can create multiple projects, and each and every project we can have our integrations, and integrations can have connections, lookups, and that obvious that all this that features we can have in our projects when we are creating. So this the new features they added the new features, just like I told you, the event base. So if you will go to integrations, while creating the integrations, we have sorry we have new patterns that's given as event. So right now, this in this instance, we are not able to see event here. This is not the latest update version, but in the latest update version, that 12.5 something, they have that event created here. So that event also we can utilize to create our integrations. Also, they added a few of the things. They added AI features in integration. So when we are saying that AI features, it means that uh, inside the integration connection, you can write the code. For example, we added the ATP connection or database connections, and we want to write the code. So you can just write a keyword, something like that, get all active employee from database. They will write you query for you. So that kind of things. Oh, that AI features they added in the integrations, and that's lots of things. So day by day, when we will cover integrations, we'll see day by day whatever new features they added. So they added one of the main components in OIC, also known as parallel. So parallel is action in OIC, so that multiple endpoint we can execute at similar time. So that we will cover in our upcoming days. So let's end our sessions today here only, and in the next session we will start our integration from practical. So we'll design integrations from scratch from tomorrow in the next session. So uh, yeah, anyone having any questions and you want to ask anything, feel free to unmute yourself and let's have a small question answer session.